just done taking the test, and some of you must have also attempted the test or just came out of the examination hall. And this time like I will give you the overall idea that how the examination went, what are some of the changes that I have noticed, and what are the things that have been like tested in this examination this year, how it is different from past year. Okay, so don't forget to like this reel and also share it with your friends. And first of all, if I talk about the examination, like the same pattern that is there, but there are some surprise elements. So let's go section by section. Let's first talk about the quant section. Quant section I found harder than last year, and even some of the students who I met at the center, the ones who have attempted last year, said that the section was harder. There were 2 DI sets. Now it depends on person to person. Some people might have got 3 DI set. I got just 2 DI set, and there were more numerical problems. And in numerical problems also I noticed that there were more questions on algebra this time. Okay, so इस बार algebra, like questions on all topics of algebra, be it like maximization and minimization problem. Okay, so x square plus y square plus z square was given, right? You had to find the value of x, y, like which of the following cannot be the value of x, y plus y, z plus zx. Okay, then there were questions on logarithm. A couple of questions, not one, there were 2 questions, and there were good questions on logarithms. There were questions on quadratic equation, that one of the roots is common. Okay, so that was one of the questions. So algebra I found higher weightage than usual. Usually algebra के 2 या 3 question होते हैं, but this time around I found at least 5 to 6 questions on algebra, covering all the topics, right? Be it logarithm, be it quadratic equations. Okay. Similarly, modern math was the typical NMAT type, right? It covered probability, it covered permutations and combinations, etc. And if I talk about the section of arithmetic, there were fewer questions from arithmetic this time. Unlike last year, there were like around 8-9 questions. This time I got only 5 to 6 questions on arithmetic. There were questions on number system as well. Data sufficiency was also from different topics, including one of the questions on data sufficiency from modulus. So that is why I found that this time algebra had high weight. One question of modulus asked in data sufficiency. Okay, then if I talk about the LR section, I spoke to some people over here, some 4-5 students, and all of them said that there were 2 input-output sets. Okay, so I also got 2 input-output sets. One of the input-output sets was number-based, and like all I would say is, I don't know about others, the official mock which I took was easier than the actual examination. तो actual में जो exam है वो काफ़ी difficult रहा था as compared to the official mock which I appeared on. There were 2 sets on input-output. The logic were not so evident. I ended up taking a lot of time in solving those questions, right? I just tried to figure out what could be the logic of the numbers. Okay, and there was one alphabet based one. You had to arrange numbers in an alphabetical order. CR questions, I would say that 50-50 CR and analytical reasoning. So around 17 to 18 questions on critical reasoning. Critical reasoning was mix of everything like inference, course of action, strong weak argument. There were questions on apart from this, there were questions on like fact statement, syllogism, and there were number based puzzles जिसमें grid में number दिए रहते हैं, you need to find the missing number. That was there. Logical Venn diagram was there. So it was typical CR. The NMAT section, the logical reasoning section was the one that you have in typical NMAT. Achha, another interesting thing which I found in the logical reasoning section was number based puzzle. Right, there was an arrangement puzzle which said that there are 6 people, 3 couples, 3 males and 3 females. Their age was given to us, and it was given that the sum of ages of females is X number of years less than the sum of ages of male members. So it was a tough, I would say that compared to the typical NMAT puzzle, it was tough because you had to arrange those ages, find which are females, which are males, and they were sitting on different berths of the train, lower berth, upper berth. So similar kind of question was tested. So I found LR on the tougher side, Quant on the tougher side. Quant because of the presence of algebra, high weight of algebra as compared to the traditional NMAT paper, lower weight on arithmetic. But this time around I found the questions on arithmetic were not that lengthy. ठीक है, लास्ट ईयर क्या था कि अरिथमेटिक के कुछ क्वेश्चंस बहुत लेंदी आए थे. दिस टाइम दैट वाज द नॉट द केस. सो ऑल इन ऑल आई वुड से दैट it is pretty much similar. It is not like every year you feel that okay, this time the paper was hard, but ultimately they have some algorithm of scoring that brings up some score for the aspirants. So can't say that what would be the actual level. So people will keep appearing on the examination, and as more people appear on the examination, then only you will be able to get a better idea that how people are scoring in the exam. So all in all, Quant was a notch above because of the presence of algebra, because most of the people who appear on NMAT do not practice too much of algebra. So an advice would be कि algebra अच्छे से cover कर लो. Of course modern maths people have started covering for NMAT. Okay, so that one needs to cover. Apart from that, LR was difficult. I found difficult because of presence of two sets of input output which were challenging. Okay, and English was the usual NMAT type. So there were 3 RCs, moderate length. Questions were also doable. There was questions on all the topics, and in fact I realized that the questions on prepositions were based on phrases as well, right? So we will be discussing these things in the video at 6 p.m. in the evening. So please do watch that video where I will discuss in detail about the kind of questions that were asked across the sections, and so that the people who are going to appear in future get an idea ki how is NMAT faring out this time. Now the most important thing which you are waiting for is score. A lot of people are asking score. Did anyone appear on NMAT today, so that you can tell your score first? Okay, so I got quite low score this time. Okay, less than my expectations. So I got 262, 95 in Quant, which is fine. I agree that itna around 100 I should have got. So depending on the accuracy, because sometimes you do not know that whether your answer is right or wrong. So that was fine. In LR I got just 83, which was way below the expectation, but definitely I can understand the paper did not go well. I had to mark some answers randomly, especially in critical reasoning. I got stuck in a couple of input output sets. Both the input output sets were difficult in my slot, because the number based logic was also did not click immediately, or maybe might have been easy, but during the paper it did not click easily to me. And secondly, if I talk about the other input output, which was letter based, it was difficult for me to figure out the code because it was not completely alphabetical. It was some sort of alternate arrangement, like first word, then second, third word, then second word, and some sort of arrangement was there. Okay, so that was it. In English I got 84. Okay, so that is fine. Like I generally get 80s, above 80s to 90, 95, in that range in English also. So score was a bit low, but that's fine. I mean, I agree that it did not go well. Probably reasoning I would have left those input output and then attempted other questions. Maybe critical reasoning must have got a higher score. Okay, so what I would advise the students is, like, if you feel yourself getting stuck in some of the questions, please do not spend too much time on it. Okay, so for me it does not matter, right? Even if I score 240 or if I score 300, that does not matter to me. But if you are targeting a great score, so an advice would be that as soon as you encounter some difficult questions, please skip it. Especially things like input output, लॉजिक फिगर आउट नहीं हो रहा, नंबर्स नहीं बन पा रहे हैं, इट बिकम्स कैलकुलेशन इंटेंसिव. सेम गोज विद DI ऑल्सो. इफ यू फाइंड दैट समथिंग इज कैलकुलेशन इंटेंसिव इन DI, avoid those questions. Or something like a topic which is not known to you, a very calculation intensive question in quant. Same goes with VRC also. Like if you are tackling some passage, the passage is way too lengthy, the options are very close, right? If you cannot understand a question, or let's say some vocab based questions, if you do not know the meaning, do not overthink on those questions. So that would be an advice. that like move on quickly during the paper, so that you are able to attempt as many questions as possible. So we will be discussing the questions, the analysis in detail, the kind of questions that were asked, okay, and we will be hosting some sessions on replica on our course, ठीक है. तो जो हमारा कोर्स है उसमें फ्री में we will be conducting these classes for the next we will start from tomorrow. We will start some classes from tomorrow on based on the replica of NMAT 2024, the kind of questions that were asked. Okay, so you can enroll in that, okay, for free. I mean, you can watch those classes for free, and we have slashed the prices of our course as well, and probably we will update some of the mocks with more. We do have all those variety of questions in our mocks. Probably we'll add some algebra questions in our mocks, because this time I found that algebra was more, okay. There were questions on inequalities which surprised me, okay, and apart from that, I would say that at par, not much difference, ठीक है. होता है किसी किसी के एक दो set, like it happens in any of the sections, that one set could consume your time. So that happened with me in the LR section. So it's perfectly fine. That I wouldn't say कि बहुत ज़्यादा difficult था. Just slight pattern change which I noticed was higher weight of algebra. Instead of just having 1 or 2 questions or max 3, I had not seen more than 3 questions on algebra, but this time I saw multiple questions on algebra, including question on modulus asked in data sufficiency, and a couple of questions from logarithm. Okay, so that was the only thing which I noticed, and 2 sets of input output, okay, which many of the students have reported. Usually एक आता है, but इस बार 2 आया है. Many students have got both number based. Some people got 1 number based and 1 alphabet based. One of my colleagues, he said that both were number based. Another person said that 1 on alphabet, 1 on numbers. So 3 people reported me in all that they got 2 sets. I also got 2 sets. I got both the sets difficult. I mean difficult in the sense that the logic was not so clear to me. Okay, so the entire bifurcation and other things we will discuss in the evening at 6. So please do join our YouTube channel that time live, and there we will discuss in detail. So all the best to all the students who are going to appear on NMAT, and like once you start these replica videos, it will help you to prepare further for NMAT. Okay, and we already have a playlist for NMAT 2024. Don't forget to watch that playlist as well. So thank you all. Let's see you in the evening where we will discuss this thing in detail.